Hey, I have to tell you something. It's a personal story, and this is something I actually did not want to talk about, but it's the reason why I believe that there has got to be some kind of universal health care. It's a personal story. I hope you listen, and maybe you'll understand where I'm coming from. My youngest daughter, when we first moved down to Florida, about a year after we moved down to Florida, decided that she was going to go up to New York, actually the upstate New York, with a bunch of friends and go on a ski trip. And she flew up, she had a great time, and she broke her leg badly. We got a phone call one morning from the hospital up in, I think, near Goshen, who said she has broken her leg. In other words, the bone was literally snapped in half. Luckily, it didn't break the skin, but he said to me that she needs surgery immediately. Now, being that I was a mom and I was in Florida and I could not sprout wings, and I couldn't get to her, I asked him if she could be moved and flown down back home to Florida. He said yes. Now, at the time, I don't know if you guys remember, there was this thing called the Storm of the Century, which means three major storms of snow was heading in the New York direction, and all the airports were closed. Well, to make a very long story short, they put her in a cast up to her hip. She caught the last plane out, and that night she arrived. Okay. We then took her to a doctor, and then he examined her, and I knew she needed surgery. I was told she needed surgery. Well, this doctor said, no, let's just see how she's doing. She's still young. She was about 20, 21 at the time. To make a very long story short, she stayed in that cast for almost a year, and then a brace on her leg for another 6 months. Now, during the time that we were seeing this doctor, you could see through the x-rays, because we went every 6 weeks, that she was not healing. And if she was healing very slowly. And I kept asking him, please, do the surgery. I will pay for it out of my pocket. At the time, we did have the funds to be able to pay for a surgery for her. He refused. He said she doesn't need it. She's still young. She's not really working. I went along with him stupidly. Well, fast forward to what happened to her next. She was in a cast and she had no insurance. And at the time, you were able to get insurance, and as far as pre-existing conditions, you could get insurance, but you had to wait 18 months to be able to use the pre-existing insurance, and this is what we did for her. We waited 18 months, and then we sent her to a real surgeon, who then put a titanium rod down into her leg. Now, I should tell you that her leg, because of the way it healed, this is before she had the surgery, healed about almost an inch and a half shorter than the other one. So all of a sudden, she was already off balance. The bone healed sort of like in a U, in a curve. Well, this doctor got a hold of her and did a great job and fixed her leg. And what they did was to increase the bonage, in other words, to make it even with the other bone in the other leg, they had to do a patch. In other words, they elongated the broken bone, the broken leg, by inserting other bone to bridge the gap. And they did it in some sort of a mesh that after a while would dissolve into her bone. And it worked. It really worked. She was pain-free. Her legs were exactly at the same lengths, and she was doing fine. She then got married and became pregnant, and I guess maybe because the weight of her pregnancy, whatever, the patch collapsed. And now in the last 4 years, Jennifer has been in excruciating pain. And she was also in a car accident in the meantime, which hurt her back. Now understand, she also works in the dental field. They have no insurance in dental offices. It's gotten to the point now where she is in such agony that nothing helps her. No pain medication, nothing. We've been through too many doctors who will not see her because she has no insurance. I finally got her in to see the pain doctor that my husband sees. He has spinal stenosis. And he agreed to allow us to pay out of pocket to see her, and so that she can get at least a cortisone shot in her back. Those cortisone shots cost $1,000. He's giving us a discount on it. So at this coming Wednesday, she's going to see him. I have to tell you something. My daughter is a cripple. She works in the dental industry. She bends over people all day long in their mouth. Her back is destroyed. Her leg is now that shorter again than it was. So that means that the patch itself, the surgery patch itself, failed. It crumbled over the last just few years since her son was born, my grandson. No doctor would take her because she had no insurance. And she's crippled. I mean, she's seriously ready for a wheelchair. She's only in her mid-30s. So it's a personal story that's happening to us. I sort of glossed over a lot of it. But the bottom line here is that if Jennifer is not treated, she's going to lose her hip, her knee, and she'll end up in a wheelchair. So what do? Now I find out there is no pre-existing. I'm hoping this shot helps her next week. However, that's not going to fix the problem. Now, because we and she falls into a category of either you are making too much money for this program or too less of money to enter that program, she's really stuck. This is the reason why I believe health care is so important. I don't care what form it takes. I want my daughter to be healthy again. She's absolutely crippled right now. She's in excruciating pain to the point where she screams all night long. I can't help her anymore. The only thing I can do for her is pay for this shot out of my pocket. What I'd love to see happen is have a surgeon take her under their wing and do another surgery. She probably even needs a hip replacement at this point. I'm telling you this because I know that there is a big debate out there about universal health care. People say it's socialized medicine. People say it doesn't work. You want to know something? I do know that any kind of program that we might happen to have in the future would help her at least get rid of the pre-existing law so that she can be treated and she can go on to have a healthy life. She has a little boy, my grandson. She can no longer coach his soccer team, which is what she was doing for a couple of years. So she's deteriorating and badly. I'm making this video so you can all understand why I personally am so in favor for a universal health program in any form it takes. My daughter is in bad shape and I can't help her anymore. So if you see this video, please understand that it's not just a concept to me. It's a fact in our family. And I would love for some kind of a program to come out. I don't, people talk about business versus government. You know what? I say I don't care at this point. All I want to do is have my daughter seen and fixed. Anyway, that's my situation right now. And I wanted to let you know so that you can understand why I'm so in favor for any kind of universal health care. And especially, even if they just get rid of the pre-existing problem. Because this is pre-existing is almost 20 years for her. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching this. This is important to me. Take care.